back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Mary Grace. Otherwise, welcome back. So today I just wanted to talk a little bit about animal cruelty slash animal abuse. And this weekend I was up at Baguio and for a short vacation, of course. And I was able to chance upon some horses and I was able to talk to one. But before that, I wanted to briefly give you an insight about what I think animal cruelty and animal abuse difference is. For me, that's for me, okay? So disclaimer, that's for me. I think animal cruelty is when you're doing something to the animal, either physically, psychologically, emotionally, that they don't like, that they don't agree to, but you keep on doing it. So the key there is intention, you are and awareness. You are aware that the animal is hurting, but you still intend to continue doing what you're doing. Okay. And then next, I'd like to define what for me is an animal abuse. Um, Abuse may be, again, a form of physical, emotional, and psychological. So you're abusing the animal because the animal is compliant. Okay. You are aware that it can be uncomfortable for the animal, but the animal is not complaining, or at least there's no visible complaint from the animal. So you might think that the animal is just complying, the animal is just following you, obeying you for whatever it is. But you know that the animal may be uncomfortable. So I think that's a form of abuse. Um, so yeah, now because we have that definition out of the window, let me at least give you an example now. For example, your animal is you like to have your animals wear clothes, and arguably some animals like wearing clothes and some don't. They're just like people, you know. We have preferences, they have preferences too. So some of them may want it, others don't. So there's a distinction to that. If they don't want it, you will see it, you will feel it. Like if you're very bonded with your animal, the communication will be flawless. There might not be words exchanged, but you can see it in their body language. Our animals are very expressive in their body language. So, for example, wearing clothes, no, you try to make your pet wear a clothing, piece of clothing, and at first they're showing extreme aggression, like maybe biting the clothing, tearing it apart, clawing at it, or maybe there's some growling, there's some hissing happening. Now if that's the case and you still pursue making them wear that clothing, then that's cruelty. Why? Because the animal is obviously showing that they don't want to comply, that this is not what they want, but you still push for it. So that's cruelty. Okay. Now, let's say in another scenario, your animal is complacent, complying, okay, obedient. So you try to put on the clothes on them. And then what do? They're not hissing, they're not growling, they're not showing anger, no fangs, no teeth whatsoever, but they don't want to move. Like they don't want to walk, they don't want to go outside the house. Um, they're not performing their regular activities inside the house. So you see that obviously they are extremely uncomfortable. There's no fighting here, but they are uncomfortable. And you still want to impose on them to wear that clothing. So what's that called? Now that's abuse. Um, Now other animal advocates would go as far to say as putting your animals, putting collars on your animals is a form of abuse. Maybe, maybe not. But if the reason is for their greater safety or greater purpose, for example, your animal is an indoor outdoor cat, you might want to put collars on them, tags on them. So that's not against their rights. That's not an abuse and that's not cruelty. Some would also argue that having your dogs inside cages for the entirety of a day where you're not at home might be cruelty. But again, if it trumps over the fact that you're doing it for their safety, then that's fine. Okay. But again, let's go back. If the animal is complying, but extreme discomfort is obvious, that is abuse. If the animal is not complying and there's obviously an aggression, like this a strong no from your animal, but you still push it, that's cruelty. So at least that's how I define the degrees of discomfort, abuse, and cruelty. Okay, so now we have all that examples out the window. I want to go back to my experience. So um, I went I went up to Baguio to have a short break, and we went to Mines View. I haven't been there for like more than 10 years. And again, I've seen the horses. So it was late afternoon, maybe early evening-ish around that time. I mean, it gets dark out there like very fast. So I saw two horses out there. One was a white horse and the other is a black horse. So the thing is you pay like 50 bucks, 50 bucks here in the Philippines, 50 bucks for a photo with the horse. I did not explore on the pricing, but there's a different pricing, I think, if you wanted to get on the horse or just take a selfie with the horse. So with that said, I got curious because I'm a very intuitive person and sometimes I pick up on cues, and because I'm an empath, also I pick up on emotions. So between the two horses, the the white one was one to reach out to me. Like I really felt a strong communicating message or an intent to communicate from the white horse. So silently, I stood back, away from the public, you know, public walking, people walking about. So I stayed away from them, stayed far back while I was focusing my camera and looking at the horse. So I tried to communicate with the horse, and I I did. I'm a little bit bad with names, but I'm getting better. I picked up a name starting with an S. There's an H, there's an I, and I thought it was Shirley. So I said, "Oh, Shirley." So I said, "Okay, so she's a female horse." I asked her what her age was, and I picked up around 5 or 6 years of age. And then I was asking her, how how she was, like how she's doing, and it's almost dark at that time, and I noticed that she was annoyed, extremely annoyed. So I continued to talk to her for a little bit, and I did pick up that she was getting triggered by when she sees money, when she sees people handing money over to her handler. She gets really agitated, and it's understandably because she's tired. And then I asked her, "Do you like what you do?" And she said, "No, I don't like it." But in the end, towards the end of our conversation, I asked her that question again. And she said, for her it's okay. That she's doing what she does, like people taking photos of her with her on her also, but that she's tired and she doesn't get breaks. And from her perspective, horses can stand like for a long period of time, without them getting tired. But of course, they also need breaks. Like, how would you feel if you were put on that work where you just get to stand the whole day, and your area where you can stand is just about the same space where you're standing at? There's no room for just walking around a little bit. Her leash was so short that her head was like almost tilted to the side at all times. So, yeah, regardless of what she said to me, that she's okay with it, she was obviously tired. So I then asked her why she was stomping. She was stomping. And she said because she's tired, that she doesn't like it when people hop on her back, and that she doesn't get any breaks at all. So it was very upsetting for me. So I'm gonna show you this video of my visit there. Mahirap makipag-argue. Because I did try to tell the handler, I'm gonna blur out the faces so you don't see their faces. I don't want to cause them any commotion, but I'm just using this an example just to make you understand that animals also do complain about their condition. So I tried to tell them that the horse was having a hard time already. Oh, and mind you, the name that I picked up, I thought it was Shirley, but the actual name was Sophia. Now, I don't know if she prefers Shirley or that I just didn't hear it properly, but I think she likes Shirley more. Story for a name. I did get an S. I did get the exact name. Yeah, that's her. You can see how short her leash is. It's like just just bit under her chin, and just a little bit in front of her. So she was moved to this location where she's standing at right now. She was already moved after I first spoke to her. So this is actually, she looks better here because she was able to move a little bit. Horse doesn't like what she does, and she gets triggered when she sees money. Yeah, and I saw that for myself. Like she said, while she was talking to me, she saw the handler reaching out, receiving money from somebody that was earlier before this video. And she was like, oh no, no. She was moving about again, like, oh no, there's another one, another client. When she doesn't like the person coming close to her, she scratches her leg. Not scratchy, stomping. I mean, I meant to say stomping her legs. She's saying she's been tied there for the whole day. She's very tired. I tell them to let her walk. So I was telling them earlier than this video, I wasn't recording that part. I was telling them, Kuya, do you make her walk a little bit throughout the day? So they said they can't make her walk because during the day there's a lot of people around Mines View Park. And to me, honestly, that's no problem at all. Like they can make space, and she just needed to walk like maybe a couple of steps on that platform where she's standing at. She doesn't have to like roam the entire place. Ah, at least every hour. Can't be helped. So yeah, I mean, it can't be helped. There's really nothing I can do about this. People not understanding that animals also have emotions and that animals can have their say about how they live their lives. And in the end, my conversation with Sophia slash Shirley, she said that she's fine. She's fine with what she's doing right now, except of course she's complaining that she's not happy with the way her work gets executed during the day. Like you can see around this time, I think this was around 7 p.m. and they're there starting around 9 a.m. So you can imagine how many breaks does she get for her to actually feel like she's so tired, she's so out of it. Um yeah, so for me, this is, so again, no, let's go back to the description that I told you earlier. Is this cruelty or this is abuse? This is clearly abuse. The animal is complying, but there is extreme discomfort. And obviously, the handlers are ignorant, unaware, And I would say they're choosing not to understand her because I told her about it and they were so defensive about it. Like, yeah, Philippines has got a long way to go in terms of caring for animals. And even the animal advocate groups, they don't even have this grasp of whether the animal is really abused or hurt, or an act of cruelty was done against them. Some are just blanket statements. Like you can see that anywhere and everywhere on social media. Like, if they feel like the animal is just a little bit off, feeling off, they automatically think it's abuse. So, but in this case, people are still taking their photos and selfies with the animal, an animal who is clearly abused in this case. So yeah, my my advice for you, the takeaway from this video is, when you see, I'm not saying this is all bad. Again, this is not a blanket statement. Some animals do like what they do, and some animals do it for love and care for their owners. And for whatever reason, she was a little bit thankful that she's doing something for her handler to earn money. So it's not entirely a blanket statement that she is this is an act of cruelty against her, but obviously there is an abuse. And yeah, the takeaway again is for you to understand, to discern properly within your heart, feel it within your heart when you see an animal like this, and that there's a service like this, like take a photo or ride on the horse. Feel it within yourself. Is this animal accepting that? Does this animal want me to do that? Is this animal tired? Is this animal, exhausted, wanting to rest, wanting something else? With you staying there and giving them the $50 or $100, whatever she's earning in this case, does it does it equate to the effort that the animal is giving in this case? So if you feel like you are adding to the abuse, just don't. Just stay away, say hi to the horse. What I would recommend you to do, if you're not going to be taking the service, you're not paying for the 50 or the $100 there, I would highly recommend visualize a pink rainbow coming from your heart and connecting to the heart of the horse. And that is a gift for her, that she would feel that somebody is valuing her presence outside of the work that she's rendering at the moment, and maybe give some consolation that this is okay, I can make it, this is just another day, and I'm doing something to change the world. So our animals also like to feel that we are honoring their presence, their space. This everything that I'm saying here is my perspective as an animal communicator, and how I really felt during that time communicating with Sophia slash Shirley. So I hope that you picked up something about this video. And again, I encourage you to do proper discernment whenever you have some services to engage with an animal. Okay. So that's it for now. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I hope that you find more valuable resource in my channel. And if you do have any questions, just feel free to reach out anytime. I'm available on Messenger, here on YouTube, and also on WhatsApp. Okay, thank you very much. I honor your presence. Bye.